Oh, hey there. You're probably here because you want to learn about audio and how it works in our studio right now. My name is Andy Olson, and I was the first production manager on Eagle Eye News. I'm here today to show you how you can be successful with your audio and to make a great broadcast. Let's go on to the first tip. Tip number 1 is take control of your board. If you're going to be the production manager, or perhaps you just like working with the audio in here, you need to get to know this thing like it's your son. So, let me show you around it a little bit. First of all, you turn it on and you see all these flashing lights. All these flashing lights are usually a good thing. Usually what we use to get the audio into the box are these little handheld things that you'll find in any JVC camera kit. And then we'll throw this over to the anchors for them to turn on, make sure they're in the same channel. Usually I like to mess with the audio on top a little bit, keep the receiver at full blast, and then adjust the anchor's mic to whatever seems fit to make sure that they're at the same audio level, because you want to make sure you get that nice level where both of them sound the same. That's what we're really shooting for here. So now I'm throwing over to tip number 2. You may notice that I'm wearing different clothes than what I was doing earlier. Well, that's because talking about audio takes a lot of time. You knew that was a good one, Tommy. But anyways, actually in serious talk, you're going to run into some problems, not including audio, where you may run out of time during the class period. That's perfectly okay, and it's really up to you as the student to decide whether or not you continue going with this project. Seeming that we're talking about audio in this project, I felt like it was a good idea. But let's get back to audio. This right here is a JVC camera that I'm actually using right now to record this. You're going to be using a lot of this when you're out in the field filming interviews, sports, and things of the like. I'm going to show you how to get the correct audio on this. So you see this boom mic that's on it right now. This boom mic will usually always be on it. And then we have different accessories in our kits, like microphones, and then we have little lapel mics too if you want to get a sit-down interview. But we have different audio settings that goes for each type of recording device. So the boom mic that we have right here, I'll start off with that because that's the most basic. To use the boom mic, usually it's plugged into input 1. You got 2 inputs back here. I'm not sure if you can see this, but there's 2 of them right here. Usually the boom mic is in input 1. So you go over to the input 1 audio input and then have it set to mic plus 48 volts. That plus 48 volts gives it an extra power compared to just mic on its normal. So it's got 3 options: line, mic, and mic plus 48 volts. But on the other hand, if you're going to use your lapel mics, you need to plug that into whichever input you like and then switch it to just regular mic. Because lapel mics, the plus 48 volts is too much power for them. So you want to make sure that you don't overmodulate it. Because if you do that, we learned in first semester of our first year that it get little like pops in the audio. So we want to make sure that we avoid that and get good audio. Now I'm throwing it over to tip number 3. Tip number 3 is the last tip and probably one of the most important tips. Tip number 3 is to get to know your anchors. Because sitting back here working with audio, you gotta ask a lot of the anchors. They gotta warm up, you gotta ask them to talk so that you can test the audio levels. But don't be afraid to do that, because I'm sure the anchors knew that when they signed up for this job, they were probably gonna have to do a couple things like that they were asked for. Like, I asked Colton tons of times to test the audio. So, Colton, can you talk for me?
Mickey Mouse shrieked as the bear trap severed his right leg.
Sounds good, Colton. So, those are all my tips how to be successful in the studio with your audio. Hopefully you learned something from this and you can add on in future videos. Thank you for watching, and I'm Andy Olson.
I'm Colton.